Hello, everyone. I am Trisha Mukhopadhyay, and we are in Tandoori Chats with Trisha. So today I have been joined by a couple of my very close, or I can say loved ones, and we are going to learn about the perspective of each other. And our topic of the day is future of the foreign students. So I do see that Anish has also joined us. So let me first of all introduce my our viewers, to my guests. So we have an international student himself, Anish from North Carolina. Anish, please say hello and introduce yourself.
Hi guys, I'm Anish. I am an international student pursuing my master's from UNC Charlotte. It's in North Carolina.
Great, great. And that's in USA.
Yeah, of course.
And we have also been joined by a parent of an international student. And she is Rima. She has joined us all the way from India. Rima, please say hello and introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, good evening. I'm Reema, mother of Anish Bhattacharya. Yeah, international student. So I would like to share my views with all of you.
Great.
Over
And
to you.
wonderful. And also we have, and how do I call you? And a non-international student in the current scenario? No. So we have another student from New Jersey, and she's studying in a college. So, Amisha, why don't you say hello and introduce yourself?
Hello, my name is Nisha. I'm a second year at Rutgers University, New Brunswick. I'm not an international student, but I also have opinions on this. So,
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah, Misha, can you be a little louder,
yeah,
please?
Yeah, great.
Okay, thank you.
Amisha, you are a second year,
yeah.
okay, undergrad student. Great. So the topic today is future of the foreign students. And suddenly on 8th of July, it was announced by ICE. So here is a term abbreviated that I want our viewers to know. ICE, ICE, and it stands for Immigration and Customs Enforcement. So the US visa for foreign students studying in or pursuing their academic program in the USA. It's basically for international students who've been here and who have also who are looking forward to begin their program. So we thought of having a discussion, especially coming from the international student himself and a parent. What goes on in our mind, especially with this unannounced, unexpected, sudden. This announcement took us all by surprise. So we are going to talk about, share our perspective, our views, and what can be done. So there's a lot of panic and anxiety and frustration going on and I would say around the world, because in the US there are over 1 million of international students who are here, right? So Anish, I'd like to begin with you. What,
Sure.
what do you think about this with the sudden announcement and rule? So what do you think? What was your first thought?
My first thought was maybe it's not real. So, because there's a lot of news like these that are shown by the media or newspapers. So, I usually don't freak out because 90% of them are fake. But then, yeah, I went to the website, the official website of ICE, and they had posted about this. So I didn't really panic because I know that my university has a lot of international students, and they, of course, wouldn't let us just move out.
Wow.
So I was still thinking that everything is still up in the air. So let's just go with the flow. Let's see what happens. So yeah, that was my first thought.
Wow. Rima, I think there's some disturbance from your side. Could you please lower the, or you could just mute your other device so that we can, yeah,
Is that fine now?
yeah, that
Yeah.
mm, there's some echo.
Yeah,
So,
my AC is making some noise.
okay. So, and now as a parent of an international student, so what was your first thought when you read the news, and also when the news was confirmed by your son studying in the USA? So, what was that first thought that came to your mind sitting in India?
Well, I wasn't aware of this news when one of my classmates had reached out to me and said that, hey, is it going to impact your son? So then I was very serious and I started reading the news and in Times of India. And but then I was a little confused that what's going to happen, and it's better to check with my son. But then that was it was night for him, so I just waited till my evening to have a call with my son and understand the situation. So then what happened that I just called him and he said, Ma, chill. You don't have to worry about it. Don't worry. I'll just go with the flow. So that has given me a little bit of comfort, but then I was thinking that what's going to happen, because it's not so easy to get into this. And because we had done we had faced a lot of challenges, Anish, you will agree with me, just to reach there it was not easy. You had gone through a lot
Sure.
of steps, and just to get into that, even we had a fight with our banking system. We had reached out to bank chairman, PMO office, just to get the loan, education loan. So a lot
Yeah,
of things
it,
done just to get that.
it wasn't
And when
something
such
easy.
such such thing happens, like it actually shakes you up.
Correct.
So I was a
Correct.
little nervous at that moment, but then once Anish told me, Ma, chill, cool down, nothing will happen. So that gave me a little bit of peace of mind. So yeah, then I later on I just got the feel that what's actually happening.
Wow, great. So, and we also have Amisha. What is it that's bothering you? You're not even an international student. I mean, come on. Why do what was going on in your mind being a in-state student? You don't have to worry. So, what was that thought that brought you here today to share your opinion in this matter?
Well, just because I don't know the story doesn't
Loud.
mean it's not
Little loud.
something to worry about. Um, my university, Rutgers, has a huge population of international students, so um, and this is going to affect way like a lot of people. So and it's just unfair. There's no good reason for international students to um, just have to go back because there's a lot of problems that come from that. So everybody who can needs to be able to speak up about it.
Wow. So yes, it's hardly a week since this announcement was made, and it took us all by surprise, especially when you think of the current pandemic situation, right? Where we do see that there were so many waivers going on. Excuse, there are so many leeways that people are trying to make space for others. There's so much good things going on around the world, and in such a situation, this news comes in, and when there are so many things, aircraft, the borders have been closed,
Mhm.
planes are not flying. So amidst this panic of getting the infection of, yes, the word coronavirus, COVID-19, it is so fearful. We are all so scared what's going to happen. And it's in a way, it's going to push us, the news itself, it sounds like it's pushing us towards embracing coronavirus. I mean, that's the kind of scare that's been created throughout the world. So, so, Anish, one thing I want to mention that, when you said that you you said much chill, and you started reading. Yes, there are fake news going on, and there are a lot of misunderstandings also being created due to the wrong kind of information or half information that is being circulated. But one thing I most appreciate, your faith in the education system of United States of America, and the faith you have in such a strong faith you have towards the institution you are studying, where you are studying. So that is really appreciable. And I really appreciate that how you feel that yes, not only me, everybody should have a say, because international, like they used to say that, as they say, America, long time back, America runs on Dunkin' Donuts. But America education system, if I, you may please correct me if I'm wrong, runs on mostly international students' money. So Anish, what is as per our findings? What is the amount I forgot about as of 2018? I was reading somewhere. It's
So the amount is, as per the reports in 2018, international students generate about $45 billion in just tuition revenue.
That's a good amount.
billion.
Yeah.
So so now I'm sure you all have read that what is going on with many students. Do Anish have any students left after the announcement was made, or what is the situation? What is it that's going on amongst your people or the students that you see? What is the effect
So,
that is going on?
so this rule will start from the fall semester, which is in 2 more months. So it's not yet activated, I would say, but yeah, of course, it has put people in panic.
Yeah. So I think there is a echo somewhere.
Yeah, there's really bad disturbance somewhere.
Okay. So we'll try our best to convey our message as much as possible. If there is anything that is wrong with you, please mute your. Okay. So I also was reading that there is this, coming back to your field in the education system, Harvard University, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, they went ahead and sued Trump administration, because yes, it is definitely not a favorable decision. You just can't, like wake up one morning and just say that, hey, you know what, just leave. You just can't do that. So what is it, your university, your college, how are they contributing, how are they supporting the international students? So Anish, we'd like to know from you.
So what my university did is that they started giving out or rolling out hybrid courses. So that means that it is considered as an in-person class. So it's not considered as an online class, but in hybrid classes, you usually have to go to college once a month, but rest of the times it's online.
So Anish, I remember that when the news came out, and I immediately reached out to you just to get the feel of what's going on. And you had earlier chosen online courses, right? For
Yeah,
because for safety and health, public health reason, right? So
true.
so was there some sort of information from the authorities in your college, or from your program, or your counselor, or that particular department, to was there some sort of help in lowering the amount of pressure or the amount of panic that was building amongst all the students and their families? So what sort of help had you been receiving from your university? What kind of support?
So we were constantly in. Wait, can you guys hear me? Okay, sure. So we were constantly in contact with the International Student Association of our school, and they constantly were updating us of what the current scenario is, and they constantly supported us in a way that they had told us previously that we would definitely provide you hybrid classes and try to find any loopholes as possible just to make sure that you guys don't lose your F1 status. And by F1 status, I mean our visa status.
Right. So there are other, as we speak about student visa, are there any other forms of besides F1? There are others as well, right? We were,
From what I read on a social media post, the decision. Actually, let me pull it up.
hmm.
Um,
So,
yes, so it says ICE's decision announced that non-immigrant students who had F1 and M1 visas would need to either leave the country or transfer to a non-only online school in order to stay in the USA.
Amisha, you have to be a little louder because your voice, yeah. Thank you. Thank you. So, so there are, it's not so it's not just about the students who are already here. It is also about mm, students who are looking forward to land here and start their fall uh, classes, right? Or begin their program for that matter. So those kind of students, I know that, I can, at this point of time, I can only say that there are so many things going on against to just turn it around, turn the situation around. There are universities coming in support of turning the decision around of so that this decision can be withdrawn, right? So there are tons of issues. It's not just that online only programs or hybrid program students are getting affected, that they may not be able to continue for the fall or until it remains it stands where it is right now. So Rima, I understand that we many of the students here studying in America are have been privileged. They are privileged to catch a flight and go under normal circumstances if something emergency takes place, but not many. Some yes, but not many. So under that scenario, as you were discussing, that how much there were so many hurdles, challenges just to send your son for higher study, right? So
That's right.
it's you live in a city, right? City in the western part of India. However, there are students who travel even from the remotest part of their country of origin, right? So, what sort of challenges do you see for a student done that okay, this everybody comes back who could not, their colleges or university could not offer hybrid, so they do not have enough choice or options, so the students come back, but then what happens? Is it possible, like internet issues and other issues also? So I'd like you to throw some light on that, the situation where you are in.
Well, to some extent, where I live, it's not a problem. But yeah, the students who are coming from like Kashmir and other states, where internet is really a challenge, because it was blocked for many years, for some time, and then from I think January onwards, it was made it possible, available to the people. But if you talk about the speed, it is still 2G. Speed is very slow. So even if a student tries to study from Kashmir and the other places where the similar challenges are there, maybe the is internet is not blocked, but it's available, but the bandwidth is very low, very low. As a result, the students are going to face problem when they have to get into the network and do their online courses. So even that's about India. I know about there are some countries like China who are not using they're not using Google, they're not using other like app uh, which normally usually all these universities are using for their students to work on. Right,
Correct.
Anish? So so yeah, for them it's a challenge. So, and when it comes to India, yeah, definitely, it's going to affect them um, huge. And in addition to network, even like in this pandemic, coming back to their own place, it's definitely going to affect. They're going to risk the disease as well. So that's a matter of concern for the students to.
So continuing with what Rima you said, Anish, I want to know, and also from you, how does this problem of internet or the connectivity issue help a student if that student is in campus or outside, doesn't matter, as long as the student is here, um, compared to when the student goes back to his or her home or their home. So, is there a huge difference? I'm not, yes, of course, as Rima said, that there are places where there is not even any internet, right? There's not even any connection there. Or in some places, especially in China, as I've also read, that they do not like to use outside apps. They like to use softwares built by their country. So, um, under that circumstance, how do these students get benefited when they are actually physically here, within or outside campus? Do they have special connectivity? Do they, what sort of connectivity benefit do they get as far as the internet and the connectivity goes? Anish, you go first.
So, here in the US, whether you live on campus or off campus, whether you're living in a dorm or a rented apartment, you get the best infrastructure, the best Wi Fi, the best LAN cables. You pretty much get the best stuff you can expect. So, I would say that the students who don't have this these things available in their home country, it would be a huge negative impact on them because they won't be able to attend their courses or work on the projects or assignments. We were just talking about China and India. This is just Asia. There are so many countries in Africa, the whole continent. I believe not a lot of countries in Africa have good infrastructure. And we, in our school at least, have huge international students from the continent, Africa itself. So, yeah, I think living here gives us the opportunity to enjoy the infrastructure and do the best we can.
And for which you are paying a huge price as well.
True,
It comes to,
true.
right. And Anisha, what about the situation that you see at Rutgers, off or
Um,
on campus?
I think it's a matter of access because so even as a student who like a non-international student, um, I just noticed the difference between being on campus versus having to be um, away because of lockdown and everything. So just in that small difference, I felt a huge impact because I wasn't able to access the same amount of resources from home online as I was on campus, and I can't imagine um, how much like the disparity would widen for people who have to um, go to a completely different country. So they won't be able to access the same number of resources, the same quality of resources, depending on where you're from, um, which would have a huge impact on your academic performance. And um, so everything you have worked for up to this point is um, like you're just not getting what you're paying for, basically.
Wow. Yeah, that's true. Now, since you said you're not getting what you paid for, brings us to the economic challenges that is we are going to face. We have been facing. We are going to face, and added to that, the whole pandemic situation, the whole COVID situation, right? The economic. Not everybody. I was reading that there's a student, international student, and from Princeton, I guess, Princeton University, and she said that, oh, fine, if it doesn't work out well, then I can afford, my family can afford, and I can, okay, go to Germany and and then come back whenever it's, so I do not have problem. But she also said that, what about those who do not have the basic, they've used up all their resources in providing finances for their children or their kids to pursue higher education in USA. So the economic concerns, Rima. Now you mentioned about how much big hurdle you had to cross just to get an educational loan for your son to send him. It's not that. So we just lost Rima, but I'm sure Rima is going to join us. But Anish, you can take that point because you were there throughout. So,
Yeah.
so how easy or how difficult it's going to be now?
Um, it's going to be, of course, much more difficult. Even if you have the resources, the banks are closed. Well, the banks are not closed, but due to lockdown, you cannot reach the bank. So it's pretty much closed for you, especially in our home countries. So economically, of course, we have to be ready for some hardships. Yeah, and that's what I think.
I agree, Anish, what you said. It's, so you, when I say Anish, you at that point, you are actually talking about so many students on
Wait
behalf.
one second. Mom, if you're not talking, can you put it on mute, please?
So basically, what you said represented many such students, right? The economic concerns that besides the internet, the infrastructure issue. So economic, this is big because it's not like that, you will be helped to go back in a special plane and
Yeah.
will be going back to your.
Um, Sorry to interrupt. I
Yeah.
don't want to cut you off, but I know many students who had on-campus job and their way of paying their monthly rent or their grocery shopping, everything dependent on was dependent on that. And now that due to the lockdown, everything has stopped and everyone has been either laid off or furloughed, that kind of increased their economic hardship. So yeah, I really wanted to add that point.
That was a very important point, Anish, and that is what we are talking about here. So, Rima, we wanted you to shed some light on that, um, because as a parent, it is really. So, what do you think about what sort of challenges you would see as a parent? Your son may be in a position, or the choice of courses that he may have uh, can make him um, possible to stay or sustain this period of time. So, as a parent, what do you see? And now you will be speaking on behalf of many such parents who may not be in a situation to afford to pay for that special plane and for for their children or students to come back, or some students many students who may not be in a position to do so. So, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, parents like me, we had some some plan which we made for a 2 years course, similarly like the way Anish is going on. So even if you talk about the budget, the money we have had for those periods, like it was not actually the all of a sudden this has come up, so that additional money needs to be arranged, especially at this scenario, is a real challenge. Maybe I can afford, or somebody else can, but other parents may not be. For them, it's a challenge to bring their child back to the country just because their visa status is revoked. So it's definitely going to affect financial situation. And then there's another challenge. Like once the person comes back, usually what happens, like we have that mindset that our son is going to be there, will complete their education, and then will do some sort of work there, uh, whatever they have learned it. They'll work and they'll pay off their the loan amount being taken, and the loan amount is not something small. It's quite pretty huge.
Yeah, it's huge.
Like it's almost 50 to 60 lakhs. Some, and I'm not counting even the amount that has been paid on, like his their monthly expenses and other stuff.
So
Though,
50
as
to
Anish
60 lakh
mentioned, like
translates to in US dollars, maybe.
sorry.
I'll take that. So I'll just give an example of an average tuition fee of an international student. Okay, it's almost twice or thrice of an in-state student. So suppose North Carolina is a cheap state. New Jersey is much more expensive than North Carolina. So in North Carolina, an in-state student, they pay around, I think, $8,000 for a year, and we pay around $26,000 for 1 year. So that's the difference.
Wow, that's, oh my gosh, that's huge. That's a
Yeah.
huge difference.
So it's actually a win-win situation for both the students and US, because we are getting the education that we want, and US is of course generating the revenue that helps their economy.
Wow, wow, that is huge. So, as Rima said, that I'm not even, this is just the tuition, right? Just the tuition fees that we are talking about. We have not even touched areas like lodging, right? Like accommodation, food, and the daily expenses. So that is additional. That you did not even count under the like double or triple times an in-state student's fees average on an average. This is huge. This is huge. And to achieve that, to send finally be able to arrange all that finances, overcoming all the huge challenges, that once the student is finally here for the number of year of program he or she or they are here for, the and then on top of this sudden announcement just comes in. So is it? I was thinking that why can't we ask? What makes you think uh, the talking about Trump administration, ladies and gentlemen? So what makes them think of taking such a decision? It's like a child's game. We were when we were little, and we are playing or some game or something, and suddenly one of the the bully person would just come and just say, hey, you know what, just get out, without even understanding, without even going into the background of that person, that I don't like you, just go away. And then so there's it seems to me like there's no thought behind it. But on the other hand, ICE has defended its, by the argument, its decision on withdrawing the student visa, international student visa for online only colleges. And they have defended, saying that when you apply for an online college, and they actually gave an example of University of Phoenix, that when you apply for such college, you do not have to be here present. You don't have to be present in the US to do your courses. So why for online only? Why do you have to stay here? So would you agree with me if I say, Amisha, that the universities, the colleges that we are talking about are not just online, right? So throughout the program, it's not just the online courses. So that actually made me think that what is the thought behind taking this decision and announcing suddenly that the visas will be revoked. I was reading. I will quote one of the student from, I guess, Columbia University, and he said that. No, yes, from New York, but he's from Kashmir, and he said that is it, if we can summarize it, saying that either you face either you embrace the disease or just get deported. So that's why yeah, in other words, that is what it is, because in America, our what the leadership, what is going on is that we are pretending as if there's nothing wrong. There's no, there's no, it's just a virus, come on, it's, you're going to get over it. But there are more than, I believe, 2 million cases, 3 million, I read, more than 3 million cases. However, there are thousands of deaths, and deaths happening. So this is only America I'm talking about. So what makes them think of taking such a decision? And I support these universities, colleges suing Trump administration, because if you do not have an answer, if you do not have a valid thought behind, or a validated thought or a genuine reason behind this decision, then you better show, tell us what's going on, and we better go after the Trump administration. That's how I feel. But also at the same time, yes, we did talk about all these concerns, the infrastructure, the economic concerns, and then the worst part is the public health threat, right? The public
Yeah.
threat. So what makes these students, what makes us think that these students, they have to leave under pandemic? So that there is another, this is the biggest threat, right? Where we are saying that, stay home. That's the least you can do to save yourself and save others. And under that situation, we're also saying that, hey, you know what? Your time's up. Now just go back to your home, forgetting the fact that to go back, you have to be out there in the COVID situation.
And not just that, you obviously are going to exclude yourself if you have to take a plane or something like that, but um, the other option for international students is to take some in-person classes, which is also a risk. So either way, you have to come in contact with the virus in some way or another. So
But
there's really no safe situation under this decision.
so there's, you mean to say there's no safe situation, right? So unfortunately, online
Hey, Trisha.
online is the, of course, the way to go for now. But also at the same time, yes, there are colleges, schools stepping forward in support of international students, which is a very good thing to see, right? So I do see that silver lining there, that if there is a problem that has, or I would say it's a forced decision that, that's been forced upon such families, we all are directly or indirectly affected by this decision. So the health,
Trisha, I just want to add to this point.
yeah,
Can you hear me?
yes, we can hear you.
One of the major main reason of taking such decision by Trump administrations could be, because if you see, I read somewhere that almost, if you use data from 2018, almost 460,000 students voted in US, and because of the pandemic
You're
situation,
getting cut off.
many companies had laid off their employees. People have lost their job. So just to make them available with such jobs, maybe this could be one of the reason of taking such decision of asking international students, especially those who are online, to go back to their countries.
But yeah, you have a point, Rima. I don't deny that. Yeah, there's another way to look at it. Anish, I think you have something to say. Please unmute yourself.
No, no, I was just saying that Rima is getting cut off and we couldn't hear her speak.
Yes, yes. So what Rima said, there's a different angle to it, as Rima said. It could be that, you know, because Americans, to get job, to provide job for Americans, and also let's not forget that elections are right around the corner. So although we do say that in our talks we try to be non-political and non-religious, we don't want to get there, but this is a real problem. It's not like it's innocent. Students are getting affected, innocent families are getting affected. There are so many people around the world who've already been into, due to pandemic, how to, they're homebound. We all of us are homebound, just until, we are waiting for that day when the vaccine would come out, and hope, we are waiting for that hope to happen, that miracle to happen. And on top of that, this decision, wherein, as we see that over a million, and out of this over a million, 80% of the international students are from South Asia, mainly China and India. So, all these points that we discussed, that yes, we are not happy. Nobody is happy. And I'm sure even Trump administration is not happy. But we are not talking about Trump administration's happiness, or we are talking about people who generate revenue for our country, America. I think the least we can do is we support them, as some of these big name universities say that, we care for you, you're our asset. As I see, Anish, you have a terrific faith in the education system of America. As I see Amisha, how she feels that, yes, I have an opinion and I am affected by this decision. I see a mother in India very much affected. And not just, we are not just speaking for ourselves, we are representing a whole group of people who are not happy, who are who are waiting for a miracle to happen, pandemic to go away, and now these unthought, without even given it a genuine thought, sort of decisions being taken. So we will continue our conversation, but I believe we've had a great conversation here, because we need to talk about it. And we need, the more we talk about it, the more clarity will develop. More and more people will come to know what's going on, right? And uh, I believe the more we are into the conversation, things will happen, because as we all know, that it is only, yes, we want to live in the present. All I can say from all of us here is that, of course, panic is there, frustration, we are getting frustrated, nothing is working out, not a good situation to live right now. But all I can say at this point of time is that, I'll not say calm down, but I will also say that to keep your eyes and ears open. Look for the news, as Anish you mentioned earlier, that fake news. Yes, there are many fake news. It doesn't take any time to spread rumors, but in this difficult time, all we can do is we all come together, be supportive to each other, and show the solidarity. And whichever way we can, as an individual, whichever way, let the whole world come together and show our support for these most important group of students, I would say. And we have, with support, maybe, I'm using the word maybe, we'll see some change happening. Do you agree, Anish? Do you agree, Rima?
Sure.
Let's hope for the best.
Let's hope for the best, right? So great. Once again, we were sharing our opinion.
Wait, before we end, I just want to say, if there's anybody watching who knows, maybe students my age who are non-international students, if you can do more than just talk about it, you can also call or email your local representatives, and even just a quick Google search. There are a lot of petitions online that are going around that you can send to show your support and basically gather support to encourage the school or just your local government or your state government or just the government in general to in blocking this or reversing the decision.
Reversing the decision. Very, very nicely put. Yes. And Anish, you have something to add before we finish. We'd like to hear from you as well.
Well, I would just say that I don't want the students to panic, and I'm pretty sure everyone studies in wonderful schools, and the schools are always going to find some way to keep their assets and not send them away.
Wow. Great. Great. Rima, last few words from you.
Yeah, I just second Anish what he said,
Great.
and
That's
we are just hoping that things will change
very nice.
soon.
Very nice. I like what Amisha said, that we all can pitch in, we can do our part in supporting. And what Anish also said, that please don't panic. It's easier to say. Yes, I do understand. It's easy to say these kind of things, that calm down, don't panic, and take a deep breath in and blah blah blah. But it's true. When we come together, things happen, magic happens. So we have to do our part. We should not forget that end of the day, it is us. We have the strength within ourselves, and we have to believe in ourselves. We have to, like Anish has great faith, Amisha has great faith in the education system. And I see parents like Rima, they they have so much trust and confidence in their children, in their kids. And I do see that, the more we show our support, the more we show, the positive is bound to happen, right? So Anish, a second year graduate student.
Yep.
Anish, North Carolina, University of North Carolina, Charlotte.
Yep.
Amisha, a second year undergrad student from Rutgers University, New Jersey,
New Brunswick.
New Brunswick. Rima from Maharashtra, India. And I am your host, Trisha Mukhopadhyay, and we will continue this conversation. And I hope there will be some kind of match, or in other words, reversal of the decision may take place. So, with that hope, we end our talk here. We'll catch up with you soon with another topic next week. Thank you very much. Thank you all.
Thank you.